Alrighty, welcome back to Cinema Pursuit. Today we have a special guest. I'm going solo with another great guest. We've got Bilal, someone I've known from TikTok for God knows how many years now. We just kind of became friends.
Yeah.
And he's just, MBK is just doing his thing on TikTok. Say hi, man.
Hi, it's MBK the Billy, aka Bilal, and I've been friends with Vikash for a hot minute now. It's been like 2 to 3 years now, I believe. It's crazy how long we've been friends on this app.
It just happens.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna start this pod off a little different. I haven't done this yet, but I want to ask you, where did your love for movies come from?
My love for movies came from when I was like a kid, watching the Spider-Man Raimi trilogy and seeing Spider-Man for the first time and seeing how much of a great hero he was. That's where I got into like more superhero movies and my love for movies. But later on, watching Mission Impossible: Ghost Protocol in 2011 really made me fall in love in movies. Seeing Tom Cruise climb the Burj Khalifa tower and seeing all those epic action sequences with the beautiful cinematography made me start appreciating movies and a lot more, and just watch different genres now, like being action, movies, dramas. It's like Spider-Man and Mission Impossible are the two reasons why I love movies. And
How old were you when Mission Impossible came out? Or Ghost Protocol?
I was 11 years old.
11, I was 15. Yeah, I was 14 or 15. I remember it was like December and I went to go see the movie. Man, that movie's unforgettable in the theater. I watched, they had a clip of the movie like 5 minutes. You know the chase that he has in the sandstorm?
Oh, yeah. That chase scene was...
It's so good. And I watched that scene before I saw the movie like 10 times. And still, the movie was even better than that.
Yeah. It's unbelievable what Tom Cruise could do on screen. It's crazy.
And wait till he goes to space.
Oh, yeah. I wonder when that movie's coming out.
They're going to cook. I mean, Doug Liman, the guy who did the new Roadhouse, he did like Born Identity and a few other things. He's the guy who did that. But I'm excited to see it.
Me too, my brother.
But Game Night. Game Night is, I think it's a movie where I don't think people still talk about it much, right? Like, you don't see a lot of Game Night love out there, right?
Yeah, I agree with that. It's a really great comedy that anyone can watch with their friends and have a blast watching. I feel like the humor is really clever, especially with the movie references that they have inside the film. And plus, like, sometimes you have played these games with your friends in the past, so you can just relate to that aspect of the film, which is something I really appreciate.
And I think it's a fun time to play games, so it's like a fun time to watch this movie, and they translate it well. I haven't seen the movie in like 6 years, and surprisingly, it is still just as great.
Yeah.
And that's the sort of movie we usually like try to talk about on the podcast. What, did you see the movie back in 2018, or did you like see it recently and fall in love with it? How was that?
The journey of me watching Game Night, it was when it first came out in movie theaters, and I was seeing it with some of my friends. We didn't even see the trailer for this movie, but I remember watching this film in the movie theater. It was like a packed theater. Everyone was laughing. Everyone was having a great time. I was enjoying myself watching this film. And I was also a huge fan of Rachel McAdams back in the day, still am. And Rachel McAdams was hilarious inside Game Night. But I also, like, when I saw in 2018, I didn't really understand the movie references that much because I was still learning about film. So when I was rewatching it, I like learned so much more about this movie, especially with the dialogue aspects. Yeah, it's just a great movie. That's like my first memory of the film.
Yeah, I went to see the movie by myself. I was like, nobody wants to see this movie. I'm gonna go see this. I sat next to it was a packed theater for me too. And I sat next to a couple. I'm like, I hope these people laugh. And they were laughing with me the entire time. It was great in the theater. I was like, okay, I think it's the last comedy I saw like that really had that big of an effect on like everybody in the audience. And this movie is surprisingly dark too. The comedy is dark. Like when she's trying to fish out the bullet and stuff, I've laughed so hard.
Remember like with the rubber dog thing, or what's it, a rubber dog?
Oh yeah, the rubber, like the dog toy. That like the comedy even with that is so good. It's not like there's only one type of comedy. Sometimes when they have like a comedy movie, it might just be like jokes on jokes, like the dialogue. But this has like a lot of visual, like physical comedy too.
Yeah.
when LaMorne's character, like, he's, you know, on the stacked thing and then he like falls and he like breaks the door open.
Yeah, that was good. I feel like this comedy was used effectively. It wasn't like comedy to make us laugh, but like it was comedy as a plot device to keep the plot moving forward, if that makes sense.
Oh yeah, no. And the movie's like 90 minutes. It is such a fast movie. Like, I honestly, this is one of the first times I've had a problem like thinking about writing about the movie before we do the podcast, because I was like, this scene is kind of couple minutes, but it like runs into this scene, and the movie just runs so fast because, you know, they're at the neighbor's house.
Yeah.
And then they get to the party, and it just goes by so fast that it's like, it's kind of one scene in my head because it's running so fast. And I'm going to get into like the guys who made this movie. Did you watch the Vacation movie, like the 2015 one with Ed Helms?
I have not.
You probably haven't. It wasn't good. Like, I don't want to be, you know, talking, you know, crap, but the movie was not good. But the last two movies these guys have made is fantastic. Yeah. Like this and Dungeons and Dragons, which I will talk about. But I think we've had Bottoms, Booksmart, Theater Camp, that we've had like, you know, lower budget comedies like this, and they're all like very different. They're not similar. What are your thoughts on all those movies?
I really enjoy ghost movies. I haven't seen Booksmart yet, but you know what is another lower lower budget comedy that I don't see a lot of people talk about? It came out last year. Is a horror comedy being The Blackening. I mean, that movie made me laugh so much throughout the full runtime, and I feel like it was a really great way to showcase stereotypes on the black community and them just making fun of it.
You gotta crank it every Juneteenth now. That's what it is. Every Juneteenth you gotta like crank The Blackening. Let's go.
Agreed, man. Agreed.
So, Jason Bateman's brother, like the cool brother in this movie, Kyle Chandler, his name is Brooks Davis in the movie, right?
Yeah.
I went to high school with a Brooks Davis.
That's crazy.
The coolest dude. I love that man. Shout out to Brooks Davis if you ever listen to this, man. I love you. But it's like, I was laughing so hard rewatching the movie because I totally forgot that. But I was like, he plays like the dick brother so well in this movie. Kyle Chandler actually went to UGA. He went to the college that my brother and like my cousins, like a whole bunch of people I know, he went to that college. And obviously people know him from like Friday Night Lights, Super 8. Just a great actor.
I actually really enjoy Kyle Chandler as an actor. We haven't seen him in a while too, which is weird because I think he is a great talent.
I think they don't cast him in lead roles too much. I think he had Bloodline on Netflix, but besides that, they don't really cast him in too much stuff as lead. And he's a really good lead actor. But I mean, he's a supporting actor in this, but he comes in for his like hot 5-10 minutes, but he's so good in it.
Yeah, facts. But Jeffrey Wright inside the mini scenes that he had,
Bro.
Oh my god, I was dying.
The now Oscar-nominated Jeffrey Wright. I don't know about you, but I've been watching Jeffrey Wright since I was literally a kid. Because of like Casino Royale.
He's such a great actor. But I love the scene when he got knocked out, and I think the actor who who's the guy who plays the blonde guy? Billy. I cannot say his last.
Billy Magnussen. Yeah.
He keeps kicking him. It's like he's such a great actor. I was like dying.
He's a general. He's a good old like Daniel Day-Lewis. I was like, I'm gonna get it. See, literally, when we get to dialogues, I'm about to be like, these are all the funny lines I remember. So we're gonna get into it. We're gonna have fun.
Yeah, we're gonna have fun today.
So you know what this movie is, though. At the end of the day, it's a lesson to like never have a cop as a neighbor, because the man is about to ruin your life
exactly.
just to get on the game night.
But the poor guy is always wearing his uniform, his dog. He just wants to fit in. You know, it's like kind of like an outcast.
I don't feel bad for him. This man literally was using parolees and like he got all the blood bags. He had the whole board up in his basement and all that. He's like, oh, let me do this whole thing. But man, imagine that in real life. That would be a horror movie.
Actually, there were some horror elements inside Game Night.
You're right. No, when I was rewatching the movie, I was like, there's a lot of action in this movie. There's a lot of comedy. And there's a lot of horror. You know, did you get like a David Fincher vibe from this movie? A little bit?
A tiny bit.
Or was it just me? Tiny bit, right? But it's there.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, when it gets serious, I was like, okay. But that's why these guys, they went and made Dungeons and Dragons. They're making another movie with Kenneth Branagh and Ryan Reynolds. They're making like an action adventure movie for Apple now. I hope they have a good script because those guys know what they're doing. That's going to be awesome to see.
I agree with that too. I mean, like during like the sequence when they're like everyone's sneaking into their house, Bessie didn't want to know the cop. Great cop was there, and I'm like, why is this like suspenseful music so well crafted inside this film? I'm like,
you're right. We're gonna talk about it in the Layla, but Cliff Martinez's music. As soon as the little game piece drops, I love the opening credits for this movie, and then the music it just like slowly ramps up. It's really loud, and then it's like, oh yeah, this is an awesome movie. The music has no right being this good. This movie has no right being this good. But I think it's because of the people like, Daley and Goldstein, the directors for this movie, they came in and gave this movie some real legitimate life that, another director could not have done.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Because it's like, yeah, you need, of course you need a script, but you need style. And this movie has so much style, right?
Yeah, style and flair.
Because it's like the tilt shift shots or like the shots, when like the car is chasing them and it's like, it looks like a game piece.
Oh yeah, it does feel like a GTA game a little bit sometimes with the car.
Yep, it's that third POV from like the back.
Also really appreciate like the opening scene with like all the game pieces coming down leading up to the title card. I thought that was so clever, and just with the music just sets the tone of the film so well, and it's just a great ride.
Alrighty, on to Action is the Juice. This movie, yet again, another movie that's juice on juice on juice. It's 90 minutes, but it's all juice for the 90 minutes. Bilal, hit me with that first juice scene for you. Action is the juice. What's the juice?
Alright, the first one that comes to my mind is definitely the Fight Club scene.
So, like, anytime in any movie, they're like, oh yeah, like, they mentioned something, and they keep mentioning the Fight Club, right? They mention it twice. Billy Magnussen's character, he mentions it twice, and just like, they have to have a Fight Club now, and they do. And it is everything.
But like the main thing about the Fight Club scene is when Billy Manson's character gets the red egg, and that egg is being thrown to other characters, and the camera work just keeps panning out to these characters in such a clean and long shot way, and goes so quick. And I thought that scene just was so well crafted, and I forgot how great that scene really was when I rewatched this film, because the music hits, you see these characters just having fun, getting the egg, throwing it around, and it just ends with Billy Manson just like tackling a guy, the glass table.
The glass doesn't break. What's happening with these glass tables? Like, something weird is going on. No, I think that's my scene too. Like the whole time that they're at the rich guy's house, I love the scene right before it at Gary's house, like at the cop's house. And it is so morbidly horrifying that like he gets on the computer. Oh no, the blood is dripping off. It gets on the dog, Bastion. And then Bastion he just has blood. He starts wiping it. Oh no, it's a shirt of my ex-wife. And then he tries to wring it out and the blood goes everywhere.
Oh my god.
Awesome scene too. But this scene, it's like they have everything within like the whole time they're in the house. They even have like one of the best like character moments in the movie when Rachel McAdams and Jason Bateman, their characters are going I think they're in the office and they're trying to search for the egg, and they're talking about Brooks. She's like, you don't want to, the whole thing, the analogy about like Pac-Man and about like, oh, like we don't eat the fruits or whatever. And then they're like, oh, you don't want to beat Brooks. You want to be Brooks. And I was like, oh, that's the main part of this movie is like, oh yeah, you need to realize that your entire perspective about like having a kid and all this stuff is terrible, which is it's like it's one line, it's very good, and Rachel McAdams delivers the crap out of it.
Also, like, you're always, if you have siblings, you're always gonna have that jealousy for like one sibling, but like there's always gonna be like that one sibling that's like super successful doing their own thing, or you're like here struggling, so like you can relate to that element if you have siblings.
But it's not like I think they don't really talk too much. This movie doesn't really give like a lot of details outside, like for everybody's outside life. They give enough details like, oh, he works in an office with her and he thought this woman was smart, so he just brought her along for this date night instead.
Oh, yeah.
And that's all the information we get. We don't know where they work or anything like that. It's just, if it serves the story, we have it in there. Besides that, it's not there. But it's like you said, that dynamic is there. It's like, I think he's kind of successful. Obviously, he's doing well enough, but he's not, making a ton of money.
Exactly.
So, but it's like every time like his brother comes by, like Brooks, every time is like, oh, he's always trying to belittle him. He's always like, oh, he's like, is that So something smells good. Is that Delson Blue? It's like I remember he used to have dandruff a lot, and he's trying to take his brother down on a peg every single time.
Yeah.
Then at some point he realizes like you're comparing yourself to the wrong person, and he ends up being literally a smuggler, a literal criminal.
Criminal sending things to the black market.
At the end, he's like I sold list for $20 million, and then I got all the witnesses to pay me $20,000 to tell them that they're in danger. I was like, oh my god, what a terrible human being. But I think, like you said, the dynamic that they have is fantastic. I'm gonna bring up a piece of dialogue that's very simple. It's the Iron Man one. We'll talk about it. But the Fight Club, you know the guy that's running the Fight Club, the bad guy.
I forgot his name, but
Danny Houston. His father was like one of the biggest directors from like OG Hollywood. You know, in John Wick 3, when he goes to the ballet place and he's like Jardani, the older lady.
Oh yeah.
That's Angelica Houston. That's his sister. Their brother's sister.
Oh, that's so cool.
Literal Hollywood royalty right there. And their dad was fantastic. John Huston. Everybody pretty much knows his name. But, I mean, that scene, like you said, when he walks in, and LaMorne's character's like, oh, no, this is some Django Unchained shit. I was like, those are the lines that matter. I was just like, okay, we're vibing here.
Remember Gary and in the charades game, the Green Mile joke?
Oh, I have that written down. The Green Mile joke, he's like, I cried, like, did y'all not cry during Green Mile? I was like, yes, of course I cried during Green Mile. That movie will make you cry. That I was just like, okay, like, it's a testament to, like, Jesse Plemons. He is so good in this movie. I don't think he's done a comedy like this before.
I don't think so.
He has to play it serious, which helps him, but he is so funny doing
exactly.
it. They have, like you said, they have the egg chase in the movie. And I think the egg chase it very much is that, you know, action is the juice. They're running around, and it's a mix of, like, they have different rigs where it's like they're either holding the camera, they have one where they're doing like a cable cam, and they just put it all together. And usually when they're doing these long shots, it's like, oh, we're just doing something cool. But this one actually feels like, you know, it's going one shot.
Yeah.
So it's like keeping the tension going. It's like, where's the egg? Where's the egg? Right?
Yeah.
They have so many like stunt people in this, like whether it's like Billy Magnussen's character falling down the stairs or him tackling the guy, you know, onto the couch and all that stuff. And it's just everyone having to work really hard to make this one scene work. It looks so good. And I love that the movie's not beholden to it, because literally they're in the car, the next scene, and he breaks, and it just breaks.
Oh, that was fun.
And you just feel it, you just gasp, you're like, oh, it's like, oh my god, did their egg just really break? Like, oh my god.
You know what? You remember a scene with like the car chase scene at the end where Jason Bateman's character just crashes their car into the airplane?
Yeah, Max just goes whoop. He does the whole. That is like such an action movie thing. He's like, oh, how do you stop a car, or how do you stop a plane? Just take off the landing gear.
Yeah, I felt that's where like the movie got a little Fast and Furious, and I appreciate it because it works in it.
Have you seen Doom?
Doom? Yeah.
Like the
yeah,
Indian,
yeah, I've seen it. Yeah.
Like Doom, he got Doom. For like the one person who's actually like Hindi or like Indian that's seen Doom, like Doom. That's for you. So Dune just came out for anybody listening. Dune Part 2. And there's someone on TikTok. She was like, people keep saying, you want to see Doom? You want to see Doom? I've got Doom at home. And then she just cuts the Hrithik Roshan on top of the train in Doom 2. Doom, Machale. I was like, Hans Zimmer has to have a Dune. Like a Dune, Machale. I would listen to that so much. Alrighty, on to production value. What is the most impressive piece of this movie? Talking about if it's an artist, an aspect, a film shot, moment, scene, whatever it is. It feels like everything was left on screen. Nothing's on the sidelines. So, Bilal, what is your production value moment for game night?
Has to be the scene where Brooks is getting like absolutely murked when the first time the game was going on, where there's like a scene where Brooks is getting kidnapped and everyone like pants onto Brooks fighting these criminals, and like pants into this character like, oh yeah, this is great acting or something like that, because they thought this was all fake throughout the whole thing. And also there's like piano score when he's like getting dragged. I thought that scene was just really impressive.
No, that scene is so funny. And you're right, it actually kind of is a production value thing, where it's like it's like production value, meaning like they're kind of putting on a show, and he's supposed to be putting on a show, but the show is actually happening to him, right? They're actually trying to kidnap him.
Yeah.
So no, that is I love that scene so much because it's like, oh yeah, it's an actual action scene. And Kyle Chandler, once again, holds up his end. He's like trying to fight two dudes at the same time and he's failing at it.
It's like a mini John Wick moment.
Oh no, it definitely is a mini John Wick moment. And I think it speaks to like this movie. It's got like a lot of like visuals that usually if you watch a comedy movie, it does not look this good, does it?
Yeah, I feel like this movie looks beautifully. It's greatly shot. It's really impressive for a comedy as a whole to have so much production value in it.
I do love the scene you're talking about when they get to the house and Max gets inside. I think Annie, like McAdams' character, she has like the game board. It's like, oh yeah, like we brought you some games. If you don't have any games, he like picks up the games and then just whacks him. He just like yeets him across the room. And I was like, wait, hold on. I was like, that like they just went for the joke, and then he like that she magically has the boxes like all together. I was like, girl, you did not just spend 10 minutes just like picking that up. The joke is so funny that it's all worth it.
Another thing that I thought was hilarious and has some protection value is when Gary gets shot the first time, and it's like,
yes,
it's like
the whole time when he shows up, he kind of drifts his car, and then he just flings open the door, and then he's like, boom, boom, boom. You know in John Wick 1 when he's in the nightclub and then he pulls out the gun and then he starts like trying to shoot the guy and it's like he's hitting the glass and like the glass is just like dropping. It's like that. I was like, okay. And then he turns around, he jumps over the car, the hood of the car.
You know what that reminds me? A little bit of Toy 1, Toy 2 Jump Street with Jonah Hill doing the same thing.
Yeah.
But anyways, he's like, this part of my game night. and then later on, he gets shot again. I'm like, bro.
But I love that it's like the whole movie is just, it's a game night within a game night. It's a game night for a game night. Audition is like, it's a thing within a thing.
Yeah.
But it's like, things get too real. And I'm like, oh, like, whatever they wrote for this movie, I was like, this is a hard movie to write, but they did it so well. For my production value, it really is the visuals for this movie. Like, Barry Peterson, you were talking about 21, 22 Jump Street, right? The guy who shot those is the same guy who shot this movie.
Oh.
They look a lot different, right?
Yeah, they do.
Which one looks better?
Game 9.
Okay. And that's the thing. I'm like, it depends on your director too, like who you're collaborating with. And I think this movie, like I told you, it kind of feels like a Fincher movie. Not necessarily like entirely him, but it feels like an action movie or like a drama movie, like a thriller, rather than just, a straight up comedy. And a lot of comedy movies, they're trying to be, they're framing and then the visuals, they try to make them bland. Yeah. So like the jokes land better. But this one, I mean, the movie looks great, and the jokes land.
Yeah,
right?
I feel like jokes don't feel forced. They just feel naturally out from these actors and actresses, and it's just a hilarious film that it's a comfort movie, for me at least.
They do play off each other well, that's true.
Like, it just works because the cast members have perfect chemistry together, and just feel like real-life friends inside this movie.
That's true. Which is hard to do. It's like, to say like, oh, these people, they get together all the time to play games, right? So it's like they definitely had some great chemistry as a group. And, everybody kind of like goes off into the little groups of like couples, right? Playing the game, like, or the fake game that Brooks has set up. So it's like everyone's divided and everybody has their own like little thing, whether it's like the Denzel thing or like Billy's character, or, like Sharon Horgan, they have their whole thing too. With her being the older woman and all that.
Whoever played the fake Denzel did a really great job of doing Training Day Alonso Harris cosplay. Bravo. Shout out
to fake Denzel, let's go. But LaMorne's Denzel is like, all right, if you want that Denzel, you get that Denzel right here. I was like, let's go. That's a bad Denzel impression. It's an impression of someone doing an impression of Denzel. Inception, Oh man, it is so good. I was like, and you know what's so funny? I forgot about it when she like tells him about Denzel. It cuts to Drake. It's like Drake's like, just hold on, we're going home. Starts playing.
Oh yeah.
I got my eyes on you. I was like, oh my god, y'all gotta chill with this. But I'm gonna get into dialogues because we keep talking about this dialogue. This movie has great dialogue. So dialogues, and when I don't mean dialogues in like almost an American sense. I mean dialogues in like the Indian sense, like the Bollywood sense. Meaning when you watch a Bollywood movie, they say like dialogues, like on screen, like the credit is dialogues because dialogue is what stays with you. So this is we're about to talk about dialogues for a hot minute, aren't we?
Yeah, probably are.
Start us off with one. You give me one and then I'll give you one.
Alright, I'm starting off with something more deeper. That's my meaningful dialogue. It's often we don't appreciate what we have until it's gone. And I feel like that is so true.
Wait, hold up. When is that in the movie?
Bro, your boy says it, the cop. Look it up.
Oh, I don't take anything Gary says seriously. That's the problem.
Anyway,
Jesse Plemmons is so serious, but he's not serious in this movie. But seriously, that's such a like life moment, like true thing. On the real, you should value what you have and be present within what you have.
Exactly.
Too, right? It's like the Kung Fu Panda line, which Shifu's like, yesterday was history, tomorrow's a mystery, but today is a gift, and that's why it's called the present.
Damn.
Because you got to be present,
exactly.
Right? And that's the gift. You got to value what you got. See, bars, these movies, they hit you with them bars, man.
Well, my second quote is something we said earlier. Glass tables are acting really weird because every time the glass tables don't break inside this movie, I have no idea why.
It's kind of a joke between like the stunt people, because usually they have like they purposely make tables that break for movies, and this time around they're like, the tables aren't breaking, we ain't doing breakaway tables in this movie. It's a simple joke to have, but it is hilarious, isn't it?
I love that this is always a theme inside this movie, especially starting with Brooks getting hit in the glass table. Then there's the sequence where Billy's character tackles one of the Fight Club fighters and the glass table doesn't break. So I feel like that joke just works throughout the full runtime of this film. It's such a simple joke, but it's used so effectively.
Yeah, it's a lot of gags in this movie. They keep consistent. Like when the movie starts, they have a shot of Max and Annie where they're looking at each other when they first meet, and then they at the end of the movie they have the same exact shot again where she's like, "Oh, I'm pregnant," and then they had the same exact shot. They like smile at each other, and then the movie kind of ends. They pull out the camera. It's like, oh, like somebody's about to get kidnapped again.
I wonder if they were trying to set up a sequel after that.
They low-key were, but they don't need a sequel. I think it's just like, it's a great teaser to have even if you don't make a sequel, right? It's just fun. Let me give you a stupid one. Let me give you, when they get to the house and he's got 3 bags of Tostitos.
Oh yeah.
It's like 3 for the price of 1. It was a deal. It was like, how can that be profitable for Frito-Lay? I was like, wait, why is it funny? Why am I laughing at this stupid joke? It's so funny.
It's Jesse Plemons' line delivery is just excellent, man. Like, every time he speaks, it's funny. It's just weird.
And I think it's even funnier that he's like holding Bastion. He's holding his dog. And Gary's just like, he's just being real, real creepy. It's very like James Bond vibes for me, like a James Bond villain.
Yeah. Like throughout the whole movie, you just see this guy always like outside with his uniform, and he always has his dog with him every time you see him.
But that's because he's lonely. That's why. It sounds messed up to say, but it's because he's lonely. As soon as they leave from the party, he's like, Bastion, where are you? He's looking for his dog right away.
Well, yeah, he have an ex-girlfriend, didn't he? Or ex-wife, Debbie.
Ex-wife, yeah. Debbie, like, they don't show Debbie as an actress. I mean, they show her, like, in photos, but that's it. We don't need to see Debbie because she's just, like, haunting his entire life. So it's just funny that we never see her, but she has such a big part of his life in there, like, during the movie.
Yeah. Some other piece of dialogue you have.
Oh, got a lot. So at the beginning of the movie, they have the whole montage of all of them playing the games, and then they progressively get to the point where they're like getting married.
Yeah.
Billy Magnussen's character Ryan, he keeps having all the, he has a different woman with him at every one of the game nights, and one of the ladies, one of them's like, "Oh, these are the best people," and she says, "White people." I was just like, hold up. I like that this movie, they make those jokes. And it's like, those are very, like, BIPOC jokes, where it's like, they're for us. Those jokes are for us right there. Another great line, "You're not Liam Neeson!" that had me cracking up. They have some good, like, random ones, like...
That's some Django Unchained bullshit.
Yep. Which it was. I mean, that very much looked like the Mandingo fight. I was like, where's Leonardo DiCaprio at? Where's Django? Where's Christoph Waltz?
Okay, this is the quote I was talking about. This is when Rachel McAdams with the gun. Any of you fucking pricks move, and I'll execute every motherfucking last of you. Pulp Fiction ain't one right. It's a classic.
I mean, you remember the line from Pulp Fiction, right? Like that. I mean, it's such a. I don't know. It's not like. It sounds corny, like she's supposed to be corny saying it, but she does it so well, and it's so funny when she's doing it. I love it. And I think, oh man, Rachel has some of the funniest dialogue in this movie, and it's very simple. One of my favorite parts of this movie is at the end when they're at the plane and the bodyguard like runs over to like stop her, and then it's like, oh, that they hit the the accelerator for the plane, and then she's like, yes, or like he gets sucked in, and he's like, yes, oh no. He died. I was just like, Rachel, stop. I was like, she had me laughing so hard.
Why do you sound like Batman after that?
Yeah. I mean, every time I hear the name Rachel, God forbid I know a woman named Rachel, because I'm going to be like, where's Rachel? Where's Rachel? Okay. I'm about to cut that out. I gotta cut that out.
Keep that shit.
No. We're gonna open the pod and be like, where's Rachel? Where's Rachel?
Man, you're killing me, man.
You brought this one up before too. When Jeffrey Wright's on the ground, like he's already passed out, he gets the swift kick from Ryan, and then he's like, he's a regular Daniel Day-Lewis. And I'm like, this movie, I didn't realize how much they talk about other movies. You were talking about it before. I was like, yeah, they talk about a lot of other movies during this movie. And it's like, this movie was made for movie people. So I guess that's why we love this movie. It's got a reason for that. And it's like, I don't know, I talk about movies in my regular life, so it just feels like my regular life. And or the other one is from Jeffrey Wright, where he's like, oh, I quit Disney Cruises for this bullshit. I was like, they have no need, no reason to have these lines, but they're so well delivered and they're so hilarious in this movie.
I wish we get more comedies like this. We really need them.
We were talking about the when he gets shot in there in the alley trying to like get the bullet out, and she's like, oh, it's like I'm watching this like right wing fascist or whatever trying to get this bullet out, and then the funny part is again it's Rachel. Rachel's like, oh, like what does it say? What do the racists say if I can't find the bullet? I was like, oh my god. I was laughing so hard.
Remember when she's like, she uses her nose to search?
Oh, yes. I don't know what it is. It's like good comedy doesn't have to always be a gag. It can be just them bickering, and it adds, a layer to their characters. Like it's like you can just do it in the settings, and that's me, right? I'm always the guy like you can just change it in your settings. It takes 2 seconds to do it. She's like, I'm just gonna tap my nose on it every 30 seconds. Relax. And I'm like, she literally has gloves on. She's trying to get this bullet out.
But the funny thing is, the bullet went through him, so the bullet wasn't even.
And that's the funniest part, right? It's like, oh, it went through. Oh, okay. And then it's like all the horror of like watching her like cut him and like the blood coming out. It's like the prosthesis, like the prosthetics, and that is so good. It's so well done, and it's just for this stupid joke, and the jokes work.
But the also thing is when Rachel says, "I shot him" to their friends, I'm like, oh my god, I shot Max. Why you shoot Max?
I mean, he kind of deserved it.
What?
He was being a bad husband, but she's so supportive in this movie, isn't she? For her husband, every time like Brooks is doing something bad or something like that, she's always trying to make him feel better. Because she's like, I want to have a kid. This movie works because they very much tell you at the beginning, the whole part of the movie is that they're trying to have a kid. And by the end of the movie, they do, they're pregnant with a child. Yeah. And it's just a bunch of shenanigans to get to that. This whole movie is just shenanigans and is the bestest shenanigans possible.
Speaking of shenanigans, the shenanigans game where the Egg Norton part, it's like the actor we met.
Oh, yeah.
he played Incredible Hulk.
Which one? Eric
Bana. Mark Ruffalo.
No. Lou Ferrigno? No. It's just like... And he says Primal Fear. Primal Fear is actually a really good movie if you haven't seen it. It's a good courtroom drama with Richard Gere and Ed Norton. But it's like they throw that in and then it's like, oh no, it's actually Edward Norton. Hilarious.
Yeah, hilarious.
A couple lines from the, again, the scene at the house with the Fight Club, and they go upstairs. They're like, we've got Eyes Wide Fight Club going on down there, and it's like any fan of Eyes Wide Shut, Fight Club, whatever. It's like it's a paradise for moviegoers, like cinephiles, because whenever Ryan is like confronted down there, he's like, oh, I'm the CEO of Cyberdyne Systems. And I'm like, this man, of course he's a Terminator fan like me. My Wi-Fi is literally named Skynet. Like, me and Ryan, we get along.
I'm surprised they haven't mentioned the Jarvis line.
Oh, perfect thing that you said that. I was talking about the chemistry that Brooks and Max have, like, as brothers, and that line is the perfect one, where it's like every one of his friends, they have all these like quippy lines, like they're making references to movies, right? But then he comes through the door and he throws him like, oh, it's like, I thought Jarvis would be here, and then he cuts him right down. Brooks cuts him right down, and he just belittles him. He's like, he made a good joke, but it's like, why are you being mean to your brother like this? Like, Brooks is not being a good brother to his brother. That line right there is simple, but it's so good.
I mean, it's good because we're like MCU fans at the same time, so like that joke doesn't mean something to us.
Who said I was an MCU fan? I didn't say that. I love comic book movies. I'll say that much. MCU, we'll see. I wouldn't say I love everything, but I do love a lot of it.
Alright, good point.
Hey, next time we doing Winter Soldier. Chris Evans was talking about Winter Soldier today on something. It's like, oh yeah, that's the best movie for me, and it's one of my favorites, top 3.
Fact.
I know it's one of yours, right?
Yeah, I think it's my favorite.
Because Winter Soldier, every time I've seen it, delivers. The action, the spy thriller stuff, it's so good, right?
Yeah, I agree.
I'm a skirt right back into this movie. Let me drift right back into this movie real quick. Let me hit the plane with the Corvette real quick. So, the Layla, the best needle drop for this movie. What is the best needle drop use to score for you in game night?
I think it's the scene when Brooks is getting attacked, that piano music, and I thought that just laid out really well, but also love when they're like sneaking into the house, the suspenseful music just really clicked, it's really worked before the scene, and it just brought some horror vibes into the movie because this movie has so many different genres. The main thing is a comedy, but there's some horror, there's some action, there's some drama.
There's some thriller. I think a lot of this music is very much like a thriller vibe. It's Cliff Martinez who did this music, but it almost kind of feels like Trent Reznor, Atticus Ross, the guys who did like Social Network, and they've done so many other things. TMNT, the new one, they did that. They've done all sorts of stuff. Watchmen is one of my favorite things from them, outside of like 9 Inch Nails. But you're definitely right. Cliff Martinez's music in this movie is so good. Especially that, that opening bit, the opening credits, it just puts you into the movie. It's like, wait, like, what is this movie? It's like, you don't expect it from this movie, but this movie delivers when it's not supposed to deliver. And that's why this is such a, it's a testament of a movie for me.
Yeah, and it's like a movie, like I said before, you can just rewatch over and over and just have fun with it. It's like, there's so much rewatchability inside this movie, especially with a short runtime.
I genuinely don't know why I didn't rewatch it before this. I've seen it twice, but this is my 3rd time seeing it. And every time I'd be like, yeah, it's like, I'm in a game night mood, but I did not watch game night. And I'm talking about for the last like 4 years. Every time, like, I have probably thought about rewatching game night 10 plus times, and I didn't for some reason. That's why this podcast is like a good excuse for me to watch movies that I love. And I do love this movie a lot. And my Layla for game night is actually the opening. Don't Stop Me Now from Queen, when it's playing at the beginning. When you're rewatching a movie, you can look at how long it's going, and it's 3 minutes from the beginning, like the start, to the end of the song, where we get all the details of like how they met, what's going on in their lives, everything in between. It is so much fun, and so you're already laughing within the first 3 minutes, and it feels like you've watched 10 minutes worth of content within 3 minutes, but it doesn't feel like they're going too fast. You know how some movies, they'll like give you a bunch of details, they'll throw all this stuff at you, and then like, okay, go.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel like that. It just feels like, oh, we just caught up with a relationship, and it's a little cutesy rom-com sort of vibe set to a Queen song, and it works, right?
Yeah.
And then it's like they slap you right into the pediatrician, or the OBGYN's office, where they're like, oh yeah, the sperm ain't spermin'. Don't cut that out. Imagine someone just like scrolls into the podcast and just like, the sperm ain't sperm, and they're like, I listened to this.
God,
this ain't it, right?
I have a feeling you're gonna say that. I have a feeling.
I mean, you gotta make a joke. I mean, that's the whole point, isn't it? If you ain't making jokes, you ain't living life.
But Jason Bateman's character said, next in the room that masturbate you.
Not Not next to that room. This man, it's like, it's very special to him. No, it's not. It's just disgusting. It's sad. But man, this movie has some great needle drops too. I love it.
This movie's just something special, man. It's just a great film overall. I mean, the pacing is perfect, straight up, like perfect pacing.
Like I told you, it's a 90-minute movie, or it's like 95 minutes, and it just does not stop. Sometimes you need to stop, which the movie does, and you get like the character moments because you want to be invested within Max and Annie and like them having their kid and all that.
100%.
And then him trying to like one up his brother, like you're invested within all that, but it doesn't necessarily ever take you away from the movie or anything like that. They just throw those scenes into the juice. That's why I was talking about the moment in the study where she's like, you don't want to beat Brooks, you want to be Brooks. It takes one line, an effective line, effective delivery. Everything's working together in unison, and it's simple, effective, and fast. And it's like, why can't people make more movies like this?
Right? I mean, like, the main credit goes through, like, the writers of this movie, because they just really delivered an effective script. Right, a lot of funny moments, but a lot of like emotion.
But I think it's also like I feel like they were just coming up with stuff on the day probably and really working off the chemistry, because it's like the line of her being like, "Yes, oh no, he died." That doesn't seem like you have in a script. It's just like Rachel being Rachel. Yeah. It's just they find the comedy within that. And it's a testament to the actors too, and the directors. It's a testament to anybody. That's why we had the strikes last year, right? And it's like, yeah, you have your writers, but the writers write, and then when you're on set, you're rewriting. Especially with a comedy, you're rewriting when you're shooting, you're rewriting when you're editing. You're always rewriting the movie to some extent. You're trying to cut it down to the best thing possible. And this movie is just a testament to that, right?
I agree.
Like you said, you're definitely right. The writers matter. And it's like everybody's kind of a writer, especially in filmmaking. Everyone from the writer themselves to the director to the actors to the editor, and probably some sound mixing, like the sound people too, because they got to mix it all together.
Yeah,
I'm getting deep on the film stuff for some reason, but it's like I feel the need to say all this stuff because I don't think people give these sorts of movies credit. It's like you don't see comedy movies in the last 10 years. How many comedies have been nominated for like an Oscar?
I can't even remember one off the top of my head.
I will say something like Booksmart, that should have an Oscar, like an Oscar nomination of some sort. I'm not sure if we'll get into this in Oscars, but I'm not sure if we'd really give this movie a lot of Oscars. I think it deserves a hell of a lot of like nominations though, right?
Yeah, I agree with that. Also, like the cast, they seem like they're having the best time making this movie.
Oh yeah, no. This definitely is a movie where it's like you have an ensemble cast and everybody's just playing off each other, right?
Yeah.
They're really, really playing off each other. But that being said, let's get into recasting a role. Bilal, you know who should have been in this movie? Come on, let's recast a role in Game Night. Hit me with your recast. Or do you even have a recast for Game Night? I don't know if you did one.
Much as I love Rachel McAdams and Jason Bateman, they were so perfect inside this movie. But if I really, really wanted like two actors to be in a Game Night type of film, if I need to recast, I was going to say Jake Gyllenhaal and Anne Hathaway, but I realized they're doing like a little reunion in Beef Season 2. I
don't know if that's confirmed, but that's actually a good idea. I think Rachel and Anne Hathaway have like a similar vibe. It wouldn't be the same level of comedy, but I think it would be just as funny. And Jake, I mean, you saw Ambulance, right? He's hilarious in Ambulance, right?
Yeah.
Bro, that herpes line always gets me.
But I was also thinking maybe doing a little Game of Thrones reunion, bringing in Emilia Clarke and Jason Momoa, because Jason Momoa is hilarious.
You've lost me on this. Wait, so the main two characters would be Jason Momoa and Emilia Clarke?
Yes.
Actually, that would be hilarious because Jason Momoa would be like, I can't have kids. I'm too stressed about my brother. But then who would play his brother? Because he's so good looking already. His brother ends up being like Tom Cruise. It's just like he's just a really short guy. No, Peter Dinklage. He's got to play his brother. So like he opens the door, then like the camera pans down. It's like, what's up, dickhead?
No, Jason Statham as the cool brother.
I don't know how that would work. How would that work? Honestly, I would watch it. Why not? Just throw it on. Jason Statham as Brooks Davis. That would be hilarious.
Because Jason Statham could play a dick, bro, in movies. You see?
I don't think he's that charismatic. I think he's got charisma, but it's like Kyle Chandler's like charisma. He kind of looks like a lovable guy. You know how like John Bernthal is kind of lovable, but he can also do like the serious stuff.
Weird, yeah.
That's the sort of vibe I'm thinking of. But that's you. I ain't hating. I'm just saying that's where I'd be.
I mean, I just want to see Jason Statham in something else other than action. So comedy it is. He could bring his one-liners, make it funny.
But see, then it wouldn't be realistic. You know, actually, I don't know if you know this, but Jason Statham has it in his contract that he can never lose a fight any movie he's in. They literally have it in the contract that he can't lose a fight.
Oh, damn.
That's why it wouldn't work. Because he has to lose like 3 fights in this movie.
A rear part in. There we go.
Good old still car. That would be hilarious because he would be a great older brother to Jason Momoa.
There we go.
Jason Momoa. So actually, that would work out because in The Little Mermaid, he was playing the king, right? Whatever, mermaid's like dad, right? So he's a king in that Atlantis, but he's also dealing with the DC Atlantis. Arthur Curry. Got me sweating out here, man, thinking about this stuff. That's hilarious.
Hey, it works. I made it work.
Listen to mine. Ryan Gosling.
And Margot Robbie.
No. So my thing with recasting for Game Night is that Jason Bateman is 10 years older than Rachel McAdams. And rewatching the movie, you can really see that he's 10 years older. But I think they have really good chemistry and it makes the movie work. But that being, aside of that, I would recast Max. Like Jason Bateman, throw him out. Throw in Ryan Gosling. This is going to be Ryan Gosling, Rachel McAdams. It's a Notebook reunion.
Yeah, I like that too.
So all the stuff that he's having like problems with in this movie, I think it would be much more hilarious if Ryan Gosling was going through it because I think Ryan is so funny. And obviously we've seen it with, La La Land, Barbie, The Nice Guys. He's hilarious. And I think that he and Rachel have great chemistry. I don't know if you've seen The Notebook, but like they have great chemistry.
I agree with that.
Bilal, do you have a hot take for this movie?
My hot take is I don't have a hot take. Never mind.
I don't have a hot take for this movie either. And it's like, I genuinely like this movie so much that I don't really need a hot take. I think it's aged very well, for the last 6 years. So I don't think you really need to have a hot take. My hot take kind of is that Jason Bateman looked a little too old to be with McAdams. That's about it.
My hot take is this is the greatest comedy that I ever watched.
I don't know about that. Actually, let's talk about that. Is it genuinely your favorite comedy?
Yes.
Okay. So then what are your favorite comedies besides this? Everybody has like a different taste in comedy. Everybody laughs at different stuff. And I laugh at a lot of different stuff personally. What are your favorites?
22 Jump Street, Super Bad. I know that's pretty generic pick, but it's still a great movie.
But that's the thing. You brought up Booksmart, right? Booksmart has the same vibe as Superbad, but it's not. Put it this way: it's similar, but it's different. It's not like if you want that same vibe. I don't think anybody's done it better since then, besides Booksmart. So definitely go check out Booksmart.
I'm also going to put Hot Fuzz up there too. Love Hot Fuzz.
Yes. So since you said Hot Fuzz is one of mine. Have you seen Hunt for the Wilder People from Taika Waititi?
Not yet, but also another one I like is Jojo Rabbit.
I'm not gonna talk about Jojo Rabbit. I'm gonna talk about Hunt for the Wilder People though. That's one of my favorites. Jojo Rabbit, I've got some differing opinions about that movie. Just approach wise, it's whatever. We're not gonna talk about it.
Sounds good. And
but would you have any other favorite comedies?
This Is the End.
This Is the End. Oh, that's hilarious.
Yeah.
I love those. I love 22 Jump Street, like you said. Austin Powers. I'm a big Bond fan, so it's like those movies being parodies of Bond movies. I just love them too. What else? Yeah, those are the big ones. The Nice Guys is a recent one that I really loved, which is not necessarily a comedy, but it's got a lot of comedy. And it reminds me of this movie, honestly.
And Rush Hour 1 and 2 as well.
Bro, why did I not think of Rush Hour? Rush Hour is the best. Rush Hour is the best. And literally, their blooper reel is funnier than most movies.
Yeah, facts.
Chris Tucker comes up and says, what's the line? Gefilte fish? Gefilte fish?
Remember when Chris Tucker's dad calls during when they're filming?
He's like, hey, I'm filming. And then Jackie takes over, we are filming, man. Why are you calling? We're busy. It's hilarious. My favorite one is when he's like, he ain't gonna be in Rush Hour 3. I still remember seeing that the first time. I was telling my brother to like rewind it so we could watch it again because it's just so funny. But let's see, I totally forgot where we were. What were we talking about? Hot takes. I got lost in the sauce for a minute. Okay, so let's talk about Oscars real quick. We usually have like a big Oscars conversation for the movies that we talk about, but I mean, this was a 2018 movie, so the 2019 Oscars. So, like this is the year that Roma came out, Bohemian Rhapsody, The Green Book, and I have nothing good to say about Green Book and Bohemian Rhapsody, so we're going to skip over those. But this movie, just in general, like I told you, I think the music is really good in this movie. I don't know if it could get Oscars or anything
Yeah.
like that, or it necessarily deserved a nomination, but it's really good work that doesn't necessarily need an Oscar. And I think that we should always value these movies. You don't always need an Oscar to make your movie,
Oh,
right? Like you don't have to always have Oscar-worthy stuff to have a good movie.
yeah, most definitely. I feel like this is just not like an Oscar type of film, but that's okay. This is a fun movie.
But I mean, Marissa Tomei got nominated for My Cousin Is Vinny. I mean, I think she won an Oscar for that movie actually. But it's like, even then, it's like this movie is well made. It's got a lot of style. The craftsmanship is fantastic. The acting is fantastic. The writing is fantastic. But necessarily doesn't need an Oscar, right?
Yeah,
And it's an interesting conversation that where it's like it doesn't need Oscars. Like there's plenty of like really good other work out there this year, but this movie should be just as valued in my eyes. I always love movies that take place today because not a lot of like Oscar type movies take place today. I think last year we got or technically this year, whatever, for movies we got Past Lives, right? Past Lives takes place today. At least for the back end of the movie. And I love that stuff.
Yeah.
I eat that up. But I'm just going to skip right into Legacies then at this rate. So, Legacies. Through the prism of time, it's been 6 years since this movie came out. Does anything pop up about, the people behind the camera or in front of the camera? It's been 6 years. How's everybody been doing for you? Does anything come up for you? Like, oh, I love this guy now, or like this person should have more work? What's up? Give me some thoughts, Bilal.
Kyle Chandler. I need him in more movies. I really like him as an actor. That's someone I really want to see more of.
Have you seen Super 8?
Yes, I see Super 8. I really like that movie.
He's great as the dad in that Friday Night Lights. There's a lot of Friday Night Lights fans out there. Jesse Plemmons, so Gary, the cop in the movie, Jesse Plemons was actually in Friday Night Lights.
Oh,
so it's a little reunion between him and Kyle Chandler. It's awesome.
Also, I loved seeing Jason Bateman inside of Air. It really made me appreciate him as an actor way more.
I haven't seen Air yet.
He plays more of a serious character, but he still has like that humor in there. So I really appreciate his performance in there. Still love Rachel McAdams. Her performance in Are You There, God Is Me, Margaret was fantastic.
Oh yeah, it was fantastic. But I think every time Rachel has a role, I think she's just fantastic, isn't she? Like I can name a bad movie she might have been in, but whether it's like, Game Night or Mean Girls, About Time, like you said, Are You There, God, It's Me, Margaret, she's always delivering great performances.
Yeah.
She's awesome. But I will say, just overall as a movie, like I told you, it's been 6 years, and I don't think people talk about this movie enough. I don't think people talk about comedies, like good comedies, too much either way. Because you don't hear people talking about like 22 Jump Street, right? Or 21 Jump Street or anything like that.
I 100% agree, because I wish way more people talk about Game Night. Because if more people talk about this movie, most likely that Hollywood's going to start making these types of comedy movies that we'll actually enjoy. Because nowadays, comedy movies don't really hit the same. They feel like lackluster. They feel lazy. They played out. Like a comedy like Game Night uses its comedic moments such an effective way and sprinkles in like movie references, so us movie fans can really appreciate this movie, but not only appreciate the movie for its comedy, appreciate these characters and relate to these characters at the same time, because we have our own friendships, we have our own bonds, we have our friends and family members, and that's something really great about comedies like Game Night, which I really want to see more of inside Hollywood.
Oh, definitely. I agree with everything you just said, because the problem is that, like you said, they don't make ones like this anymore, and frankly, if they don't, who's the problem there, right? Because they've got creatives out there that still make these things, but like you said, where's the juice? I don't know who's making these decisions. They have, like I told you, we have like bottoms. They are making these movies for smaller budgets now, and it's like, why are you giving them small budgets? I think Game Night was also a $20 million budget, and they made like $110 million for this movie. So they definitely made their money back. So they should take more more risks like this. I think they have with Booksmart, Game Night, Theater Camp, Bottoms, but those all really do feel like they're 20s. They should have, comedies with older folks too.
Exactly. Yeah.
And I'm not just talking about like, people in their 40s, 50s. Make them for older, like, characters in their 70s. 60s, like everything is still funny. It's just y'all need to give people, especially women, more roles when they get older, because it's like Rachel McAdams in this movie is literally playing off a person that's 10 years older than her. Jason Bateman is a great actor, but it doesn't necessarily mean that she always has to be playing against that type. Like, it's not that hard to find someone who's similar in her age instead, right? That's why I suggested Ryan Gosling.
Yeah. I feel like Rachel McAdams, people don't see like her comedic like movies that often too, because she is hilarious and she does such a great job at
She's the best part of this movie. Is she not?
Yeah, I agree. She's the MVP of this film, without a doubt. But like,
we'll get into that in a minute. But but she's the MVP for you. I love it.
Yeah. She's Canadian too, so shout out to that too. Represent.
For anybody who doesn't know, Bilal is a Canadian, and that means he's obviously the nicest person I've ever met. Psych!
Wow. You gotta do that. You gotta do me like that.
Oh, I'll sing your national anthem. Oh Canada, you're not better than America. And I say this as an Indian, and then you're a Pakistani. That just makes it even funnier.
Wow.
Us being here, we breaking down barriers. We breaking down barriers on the podcast.
Peace and love, my friend.
Always,
yeah.
Jason Bateman, have you seen Ozarks? Because he's done a lot of this comedy stuff, like back then, but he's also doing Ozarks, and he started directing on Ozarks, and he's killing the drama game too, like you said, with Air, but even with his own show like that he was on.
Definitely need to check that out. Definitely need to.
I mean, you like Breaking Bad, right?
Oh,
It's kind of like Breaking Bad, but I wouldn't say it's as good as Breaking Bad. I'll be honest about that. Better Call Saul was goated, though.
I mean, don't talk about Jesse Plemmons and Breaking Bad, though. Let no.
What do you mean, a Nazi? What you talking about? He's actually the guy who's like, oh, well, never mind. I'm not going to say that joke. I don't want to get canceled for this stupid joke. Okay, so Billy Magnussen, so Ryan in the movie, he was, after this movie, he like randomly shows up in James Bond. Bro, No Time to Die had a game night reunion because Billy Magnussen's character is in No Time to Die. Billy Magnussen's in No Time to Die, and so is Jeffrey Wright.
Oh yeah,
because Felix is in the movie, and they're in the boat, and something bad happens to Felix. Not to spoil No Time to Die. I just thought about that. I didn't realize they were in this together, and then they were in that together too.
Yeah, that's crazy.
One person, I'm surprised I went, an hour without talking about this person, but legacy-wise, Sharon Horgan, the Irish woman that Ryan brings along for this ride for the movie, like his date.
Yeah.
Have you seen her in anything else?
I don't believe so.
I need you to fix that, because she is fantastic. She actually is a writer herself. She's a great actress, producer, all that sort of stuff. She has a show called Bad Sisters on Apple. I recommend everybody go check that out. She's just a great Irish person, one of my favorites, just like Cillian Murphy, obviously. And she is insanely funny, man.
Wait, was she in that Nick Cage movie, The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent?
I haven't seen it, so I can't tell you. Once in a while, I miss good movies. I'll tell you that. I miss good movies. Was she in that? I hope she was. She's probably great. Now I need to watch it. Okay. You want to talk about anything else for legacies?
Jesse Plemmons, man. He's been on a skyrocket. True. I mean, he started, last series was in that TV show with Elizabeth Olsen, Love and Death. And then he was in Killers of the Flower Moon. And then later on, he's going to be in Civil War, which I'm really looking forward towards, that blockbuster A24 movie. And then in the trailer, it's like, you're American. What type of American are you?
Oh, I haven't seen the trailer. Alex Garland is someone I definitely love his movies, and I don't even need to see a trailer. Men was not my vibe, but I love his other movies. Devs, the show with Sonoya Mizuno. Great stuff. I recommend that to anybody too. But I will say, talking about Jesse Plemons, obviously he was goated on, Breaking Bad, but he does this. He does the comedy. Have you seen Fargo season 2?
No, I have not.
Okay, so interesting fact, you probably don't know. You know who his wife is?
Yeah, it's Kristen Dunst.
Kristen Dunst. So they're in Fargo season 2 together, playing a couple, and he is hilarious in that too.
Bad.
Because his wife's kind of doing all this bad stuff, and like he's just trying to be a butcher, just trying to like keep his, just keep his head down, but like all these shenanigans are happening in Fargo and all this crazy stuff's happening crime wise. Jesse Plemons, I don't think he's had a bad movie. Like the man, he probably does some other stuff that I probably haven't seen, but even something that I don't agree with, like Power of the Dog, is he's still doing compelling work. And he has he's recently worked with Yorgos Lanthimos, the guy who did Poor Things. So he has a new movie coming out with Emma Stone with Yorgos. It's gonna be awesome yet again.
Yeah.
Obviously, like same thing. I didn't vibe with Poor Things. I think everybody else did. I mean, it's just me, but I'm excited to see whatever they cook up.
Yeah, I mean, Jesse Plemons is on this winning streak, and I'm happy for him. I really love him as an actor.
Oh yeah, like he is one of the best we have. Like if you want to just like that's one person you can't actually recast, right? You would actually like if there's a role that he like would fit, you would put him in the role. He's like a recast role. He would be someone that you need to keep pulling back. Like I want to put him in my movie.
Yeah, exactly. And I feel like he seems like a super cool dude too.
Oh yeah, but let's get into MVP. You know what KD says, right? Kevin Durant. You the MVP, mom. So
I'm like Iguodala.
2 seconds left on the clock. I'm choosing Iguodala. That man was out of pocket for that. Every time I think about that man, I was just like, nope. Because he shows up in Creed. You know that, right? Like he's one of the announcers in Creed.
Yeah.
Stephen A. Smith. I was like, I don't want you. I want Stephen A. Smith. But for real, though, Bilal, who is your MVP for this movie?
My MVP, I've been spoiled it before, is Rachel McAdams. Yeah, she's the GOAT.
If y'all didn't hear that, this man just said McGodums. Like, I thought he was saying McDonald's for a second. Like, I thought you made Rachel McAdams Irish for a second.
But Rachel, like, for real, she was fantastic inside this movie. I'm just laughing at my joke, but her jokes were hilarious. She had the dramatic moments.
You know who's funny? You know who's funny? I'm funny. That's what you just said. But for real, I laugh at my own jokes. I mean, who else is gonna laugh at your jokes?
Like I said, humor was there, the dramatic moments were there, the heart-to-heart of the film she carried through the whole runtime of this movie, and Rachel McAdams just delivered such a phenomenal performance overall.
That's true. And the thing when it comes to MVP is that if she wasn't here in this movie, I don't think I would like it as much. I think she has great chemistry with everyone, and she's always trying. It feels like she's always trying for something. She's trying to make it funny. She's trying to make it dramatically relevant or like emotionally, it's got the right moments, right bars, because it's even the simple things where one of Ryan's dates, she puts out her hand to like be like to kiss her hand, and then she just like smacks the hand, and I'm just like, who thought, like, Rachel, how are you this funny? I was like, I don't know what it is, but I was just like, her slapping that hand got me to laugh. I was thinking about it for like 5 minutes afterwards. I was like, why'd you slap the hand?
Oh, what's it like supposed to be, like a handshake like this? Like
no, it's supposed to be like a thing where it's like if a woman like puts out your hand, you're supposed to be like kiss the hand.
Oh yeah, which just a Bateman's character does.
She just like smacks the hand. I was just like, bro, so funny. But Rachel, like, I don't know, like she definitely doesn't get her due, does she? Like, I feel like she's an Oscar level actress. She's funny and she's dramatically, just a great actor. And Are You There, Margaret is kind of the mix of the two, right?
Yeah, I agree. I think she's such an underrated actor. Like, not to us, but to the Academy, she's so underrated.
I mean, and that's the problem, right? Like, the Academy can't always be the people that you look at. Yeah, it's nice if a movie that you like got an Oscar, but it doesn't necessarily degrade a movie that didn't get Oscars, because there's plenty of movies that are fantastic that don't get Oscar nominations. And this is one of them, right?
100%.
And I'm not, and I don't mean like a movie like Tokyo Drift, which is coming on the pod soon. Oh my
god!
Like, I'm not sitting here gonna be like pushing for Oscars unless they have like a stuntman Oscar finally or something like that. But I mean, I genuinely, I love that movie, but I do love this one too. And Rachel McAdams is just, she is the core of this in a big way on screen.
She's your MVP as well, or just so?
No, she's not my MVP because my MVP is behind the camera. I will say my on-screen MVP is Bastion, the dog. That dog was super cute,
true.
Man. When Gary's holding him in the driveway and the dog just looks so happy. You know the Tostitos line when that's happening?
Yeah.
The dog looks so cute. I was like, why is the dog like... The dog just looked like he was having the best
The
time.
poor dog got blood all over him by Max's arm.
It was Kool-Aid. It was Kool-Aid. It's fine.
Are you sure about that?
It looked like Kool-Aid. It didn't look like blood. They were being humane. But seriously though, my like I told you, like my whole point of this movie is like this movie has no right to be this good, and the people I thought that elevated this movie to this level is the directors. Goldstein and Daley, I think the work that they got, they put this whole team together, and obviously it's like you have a great coach. The coach matters here because the coach is the person who's putting all this style into this movie. The attention to detail, like creatively, artistically, is so good that it makes the movie compelling. It's not anything to where it's like, oh, I'm watching this movie because it's got these like the shots look like it's like a game piece or something like that, or like the shots of like the cars or anything like that. These are just like little stylistic things that they're adding in to create this whole environment for this comedy, for this horror, for this action, for this thriller, for everything to come to life. And it's like these guys did this. They did the Vacation movie, which wasn't good, but it's like people can get better at stuff.
Yeah.
And then Dungeons and Dragons was fantastic. I really loved that movie. I watched it again with my dad, and I was just like, I'm just like admiring all these details that they have, and I'm just like, oh yeah, this is how you spend your money and make it look good and make it have style, and it doesn't look like it's a CGI fest, even though there's so much CGI in Dungeons and Dragons. It sounds like I'm talking about that movie, but I'm talking about these directors. Like, you need to be able to do this stuff on a small scale and do it at the big scale, and they do it well at both, right? Because I know you've seen both movies.
Oh yeah. Most definitely.
And it's I will say it's like Martin Scorsese, right? He can make these $200 million movies. He made The Irishman, right? But then he can also go make Silence for like, a $40 million budget or a smaller budget. He's done every single budget possible. And it's just the guy, woman, whoever it is behind the camera. They have to have something that they're bringing to the story that makes it compelling, and you feel their passion on screen. And I just got to give these guys love.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. Yeah, like speaking of Dungeons and Dragons, you could definitely see like the humor from Game Night to Dungeons and Dragons.
That's my companion movie. I definitely want to recommend that to anybody. We already talked about Are You There, God? It's Me, Margaret. But Dungeons and Dragons, I hope everyone checks that out. And they check out Game Night, because people haven't seen Game Night enough.
Yeah,
especially if you're like me, if you like dark comedies, because there's some dark comedy in this movie. If you like movies where people are talking about movies, this is that too, isn't it?
I agree 100%. And well, like the humor, the emotion, everything's inside this movie. Like anyone could see it if they're a movie fan, because this movie has multiple genres. But the main thing is comedy, obviously. But it does have multiple genres in it, like we said before.
I don't know about you, but for me, it's like some of my favorite movies. Like I always think about like Terminator 2, where it's like my favorite movies have a bunch of genres put together. It's kind of a buddy cop movie, it's a sci-fi movie, it's an action movie, but it's like when you blend the genres together, that's usually more compelling than just being like, this is just one thing, this is just a heist movie, this is just a western, this is just a drama. Like, have some fun. I don't know what else to say. And I feel like it's like they've lost, like people have lost the way of like being able to have fun and also be incredibly detailed about the movies that they're making. And I feel like Daley and Goldstein definitely have that detail. They definitely genuinely, have passion for what they're doing. And you know who has that passion? We literally just watched Dune Part 2, right?
Didn't you know?
Look at the passion that everybody has when they're making those movies. And I think these guys are just starting their careers as directors, and they're going to go so far.
Oh, 1000%. I'm really excited to see what they do next. It goes to people working together. Best believe I'm going to be in a movie theater watching their films, because these are the type of directors I want to support. Like the ones that are like passionate, the ones who want to create their own vision and create the stories that they want to make. And those are directors that I love appreciating and love supporting and watching their films that I really enjoyed, and they have a lot of creativity in Game Night and Dungeons and Dragons, so it's something really great what they're doing.
I might cut this out, but they were supposed to direct the Flash movie, right? The first half of the Flash movie is their writing. They're credited on the script because that comedy that's in the Flash is because of them.
Oh, okay.
So it's not all their stuff, but it's like the comedy, you can definitely feel it's this sort of comedy. But it's like that movie isn't good because they're not there. If they directed that movie, it would have been a good movie because they had a different story, obviously, but the elements of comedy and like the emotions and all that, you can feel their hands are definitely in that pot. But it's not a good, it's not a good soup because they weren't the final chefs. So hit me with your companion movies though. Did you have any?
I do have a couple. First of all, Glass Onion. I mean, it's a fun murder mystery film that has some really unique characters. I'm just gonna say that. Like,
bro, what about Knives Out then? At that rate,
I mean, Knives Out, sure, too, but like, I feel like Glass Onion plays the comedic stuff better than Knives Out, and it's like more like the vibes of Game Night. True. The other one, The Blackening, like I said before, underrated, straight up. Another really fun comedy with like a game twist in there, but it's like a horror comedy that I really appreciate that came out last year.
Yeah, Tim Story, great. I think Tim Story, if you look up his IMDb, you're gonna be like, he's made like Fantastic Four and all these other movies. He made the OG like Fantastic Four 1 and 2 with Chris Evans. He's made some other good movies, and Tim Story he made Ride Along. He's got an extremely illustrious career as a director.
Yeah, one.
And The Blackening is definitely a return to form for him. I really enjoyed The Blackening.
I think another movie was definitely Jumanji, all the new Jumanji with The Rock and Kevin Hart and Karen Gillan. I thought that.
I just realized you're doing game movies. I didn't even think about game movies one bit. Oh, Dungeons and Dragons is literally a game movie. Oh my god, I didn't even.
Bro, what? Gee.
See, Jumanji: Welcome to the Jungle. Fun movie. I surprisingly really enjoyed that movie.
And I think the next one is probably going to be like, if someone wants a good taste of Rachel McAdams as actress, About Time.
Goated.
Are you regarded as Margaret to showcase her range as an actress? And if you want to get into more Jason Bateman, Air is a movie that I highly recommend checking out.
Horrible Bosses.
Horrible Bosses as another.
The first one. Hilarious.
And then for Jesse Plemons, you could go all over the place, like straight up. Any Jesse Plemons movie works for.
Fargo season 2, that's one of my favorites. Obviously Breaking Bad, El Camino. He's just a great actor, man. His like 20 minutes in Killers of the Flower Moon.
Oh yeah,
I'm here to see what who's doing them murders out here.
Jesse Plemons deserves way more love. That's what I'm gonna say.
Hey, always I got all the love for Jesse and McAdams, like some of my favorite actors out there. And this is them just flexing real hard, isn't it? Bro, why don't we? So at the end of this movie, I was like, doesn't Rachel McAdams need an action movie now? I'm like, they need to put her in the 8711 training. She needs her own John Wick type movie, like straight up. She would be so good.
Yeah.
But it has to have comedy because she's so good at comedy too.
You know what? You know the movie called Nobody, right?
Yeah.
With Bob Oren.
Of course, I love Nobody.
Nobody has some humor in it, right? Throw in Rachel McAdams in like a Nobody type of movie.
That'd be good. I mean, there's so many. I feel like when it comes to action, you just need like a 1-sentence plot and you can make it run, but it's got to be really effective. And I feel like Rachel is perfect for that. I'd love to see it.
Yeah, me too, man. What are your companion movies? Let's hear it.
Dungeons and Dragons already hit mine.
You only got one?
But yeah, that was it. Are You There, God? It's Me, Margaret. That was the other one. But I like I said, I just got nothing but love for these people in this movie. Man, it's been a great time talking about game night tonight.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
But we ain't playing games, or are we?
Oh shit.
We about to play some games. So listen on for us playing a little games real quick. But before we do that, Bilal, plug it up. Plug yourself.
Plug myself.
What you got going on?
You
you thought I was saying like plug.
I thought you meant to unplug my shit. Never mind.
I was like, get off. Like, podcast done. I don't need you. I don't like you like that. Leave.
Well, okay then. Anyways, my TikTok is KingMBK24. You can find me on Instagram, MBK Videos 23, and those are the two main social medias I use to upload videos.
and he's got great content. If you want movie content, Mans is always putting it out. Whether I tell him to or not, it's like I very much believe you should be doing off vibes. But Bilal he's got great vibes. He's always got these great duet interviews with other movie talk people and stuff. So I highly, highly recommend checking out his stuff because I watch his stuff too. I wonder how we became friends. Obviously, it's a testament to this online stuff. I don't get time to talk to people enough, and it's been a great joy talking about this movie. And we will obviously be talking offline too, but it's been great having you here, man.
I'm like, this guy sound Asian and he loves movies. Fun, best friends.
How do I don't know if I have an Asian accent. I wouldn't say that. I'm born and raised in the South, but it's like I speak Gujarati and all that stuff. So it's like my mouth is just full of different languages. The polyglot vibe is best.
Hell yeah.
But let's get into some games, man. So we're playing the game that we're kind of playing haphazardly is called Martini Shot Game. They're actually here. They're on TikTok, and I follow them, and I really like their format. So we're gonna try this out, kind of lopsided, but we're gonna have fun doing this. Okay. So I'm gonna hit you with your first one, okay? I already have the movie pulled up, but let me see which one I'm gonna give you to guess. Okay, settings and characters. That's what I'm gonna tell you. The setting is 2020s in Japan, and the characters, bro, this is so easy. Ladybug, Prince, Tangerine, Lemon, and Kimura. What movie is this?
I don't know. Bullet Train.
There you go. See, you already won. Okay, hit me with one. No, you have to give me the plot.
A resourceful spy has left an active service. His peace is short-lived when an old friend from the CIA turns up asking for help, leading the agent onto a trail of mysterious villain with dangerous with new technology.
No Time to Die.
How did you know that?
Okay, because we were literally just talking about No Time to Die. Okay, I'm gonna hit you with another one. Let's see. I've got the movie pulled up and reset. Let's see. I have to give you the plot. The plot of this movie is two lifelong friends find themselves at an impasse where one abruptly ends their friendship with alarming consequences for both of them. What is this movie?
Does this feel like a Count of Three or something? It's something around like that.
It's a comedy drama. Irish. It's in Ireland.
Oh, Banshees of Inisherin. There we go.
Yeah, nah, you need a little help with that one. You want switch it to hard for me. Hit me with a hard one.
Okay.
And I'm spinning the wheel. Let's see. Give me the plot for this. It's give me plot again. Tell me the plot for this movie.
4 teenagers are stuck in a magical video game.
Bro, no way. Are you serious?
Yeah.
So Jumanji?
Yeah.
Welcome to the jungle?
Why is that a hard one?
Bro, hit me with a different one. Hit me with a different one. Okay, tell me the cast and the director this time.
Oh, Casey Affleck. Oh my god, you don't get this.
Manchester by the Sea.
Yeah.
Am I right?
Yeah. Yes, our people are rich,
bro.
Why is that a hard one? What the?
That's how you know I have no life, because I guessed that without even hearing another character.
Okay, hit me with one.
I'm gonna hit you with, let's see, settings and characters. Bro, you about to get this. Okay, this movie is set in the 1990s in England. The characters are named Ron Weasley, Hermione Granger, Gilderoy Lockhart, Dobby, and Lucius Malfoy.
Harry Potter.
But which one?
I don't remember. The second one?
Okay, you got it.
I don't remember the name of it.
Chamber of Secrets. But no, you got it. That's the right one.
Okay.
I had this movie on DVD. I used to watch it so much. I love this movie. Hit me with a hard one. And you have to give me the... Let's see. You have to give me the cast and director.
Annie Samberg, J.K. Simmons, Christine... I can't say her name. Christine Milioti and Max.
Oh, it's Palm Springs.
Man, wow.
Because Kristen and Andy are the leads for the movie. I got thrown off by J.K. Simmons real quick. I forgot he's in that movie. Have you seen Palm Springs? It's like a time travel movie. It's like a Groundhog's Day sort of thing. It's a good movie.
I haven't seen it yet. That's the theme.
No, I think you'd like it. I'm gonna hit you with a hard one. I think you've seen this one. What do you want to hear? I'm gonna give you choice today. Plot, cast, quotes, or just characters and settings.
Let's go with the cast.
Okay, the cast and director: Colin Farrell, Rachel Weisz, Jessica Barden, and the director is Yorgos Lanthimos.
Oh.
He's made 2 movies with Colin Farrell. I'll give you that.
Oh man, I actually.
One of them is a thing that I think people eat. It's seafood.
This is not the lobster, is it?
Yeah, it's the lobster.
The seafood gave it away, man.
I gotta give you.
I got one for you, man.
You have to tell me the tagline and quote. This is about to be hard.
A murder in the past, a mystery in the future.
Minority Report?
No.
What's the dialogue? What's the quote?
Has a woman died in the room? This is London. Someone has died in every room, in every building, in every seat, every street corner in the city.
Why is this not ringing a bell? I feel like I know this movie. I'm not gonna. Give me the cast and director or something.
Oh man, you don't get it for the cast, bro. Anya Taylor-Joy, Thompson McKenzie, Matt Smith.
Oh, okay. Yeah, Last Night in Soho. Okay, that makes sense.
I just got that movie on Blu-ray. Okay. That's what got me hyped.
It's not his best movie, but
I loved it. To be honest, it hit me.
Okay, I'm gonna hit you with a medium, and what do I have to give you? I have to give you the plot. Okay, the plot for this movie is, let's see. A family determined to get their young daughter into the finals of a beauty pageant take a cross-country trip in their VW bus. I love this movie. This is a fantastic movie.
I don't think I ever heard about this movie, man.
Little Miss Sunshine.
Oh, I've not seen that. It's on my watch list.
Oh, you gotta check it out. It's such a wholesome movie. Alan Arkin just recently passed away, but he's the grandfather in the movie. This movie's fantastic. It's one of those movies where it's like, it's a good family movie where it's even Toni Collette from, is Steve Carell, Toni Collette from Hereditary.
Oh.
Just a lovely movie. Already hit me with that hard one, and that sounded very bad. Hit me with a tagline and quote again. Oh my god, I'm not getting this.
Tagline and quote. Oh, you're gonna get this by a tagline.
We'll see. I might not.
When you can't see, can hurt you.
Invisible Man?
Yeah.
Which one? The 2020 one?
Yeah.
I've got to do that on the podcast at some point. That's one of my favorite movies. Me and my dad talk about that movie all the time. I really love that movie.
I'm going to change that one to something else. Nope.
What's up? Hey, pick a hard one. Pick a hard one. I want to be challenged, man.
Okay. What was it?
The cast and the director.
No, you're going to get it with that number.
Hey, you never know. Hit me. Bro, stop playing these games. Be serious.
Okay, bro. Graham Chapman, John Cleese, and Eric Idle, and Terry Gilliam, and Terry.
Monty Python.
Bro,
and the Holy Grail.
I knew you were gonna get it. That's what.
It's John Cleese and Terry Gilliam that got it. I had no idea what you said before that, but I mean, honestly, like that's like OG comedy right there.
Before it got Dungeons and Dragons and switched to something else, it's that popped up. I'm like, oh,
bro, they know, they're listening. That's the problem. I'm gonna hit you with a medium. Let's see which one I gotta give you. I gotta give you the cast and the director. This movie is directed by Alfonso Cuarón, and it stars Sandra Bullock, George Clooney, and Ed Harris. Sandra Bullock, George Clooney, and Ed Harris. Directed by Alfonso Cuarón.
I actually don't.
What's the last good movie that Sandra Bullock was in?
Gravity.
Bro, how long does it take? Bro, you tired too. I can tell.
Bro, it's been
hit me with a hard one.
Okay.
I'm not keeping track. If I was keeping track, I don't know who's winning here.
All right. What do you want to know?
It said plot.
A doctor embarks on a harrowing, night-long audacity of sexual and moral discovery after his wife reveals a painful secret to him.
It said a doctor.
No, it says a moral discovery after his wife reveals a painful secret to him.
No, I'm saying what was the first?
Oh yeah, it was doctor.
A doctor.
You ain't gonna get this one.
I was thinking of After Hours for a second, but it's not After Hours because he's not a doctor in that movie. What? Here, 1 second. Let me see. Let me spin this. What else can you give me? Give me the cast and the director.
Crap, get it. Tom Cruise, Nicole Kidman.
Oh, Eyes Wide Shut. Eyes Wide Shut. Okay. Sorry. I don't know. Because when I think of Eyes Wide Shut, I'm not thinking of like, I'm not thinking of a story. That movie's a very specific, like, dreamy vibe. I love that movie.
I think we should do one more each and then call it a day.
Okay. I'm going to reset this and spin it. I'm going to give you settings and characters for this movie. Ooh, okay. The settings for this movie is 1990s, 2010s in England and Kentucky for some reason. It's the characters' names. You better get this. It's Gary, Eggsy, Unwin, Galahad, Merlin, Valentine, and Roxy.
The Kingsman, the Secret Service. Yeah.
Bro, you gotta hear the quote for this. It's manners maketh man, and then Harry Hart says, "I'm a Catholic whore, currently enjoying Congress out of wedlock with my black Jewish boyfriend."
I love that movie so much.
Okay, hit me with the last one. Okay, let's see. You gotta hit me with the plot. Keep saying plot.
Okay, a musician helps a young singer find fame as aged in alcoholism sends his own career into a downward spiral.
So, Star is Born.
Okay. Why is that a hard one? Why is that? Man.
I don't know. Were you pressing on hard? I mean, A Theory of Everything came up on hard. Let's see what else is coming up on hard. Spectre is coming up on hard. That's not hard. Halloween is coming up on hard. Princess Bride. Princess. I guess it's because it's casual. That's why. Because casual people don't know these movies.
Should we just switch it to?
Okay. Here, let's do or not nail biters. Let's do martini shot and then let's do hard. Let's do like 5 and then we'll call it a night.
5. What you want me to do?
Do martini shot. The martini shot category. You're gonna like this one. I hope you get this one right.
Okay.
I'm gonna hit you with your first of the last ones. Okay. The tagline and quote for this movie are, "Who says you're only young once?" And the quote for the movie from Mike O'Donnell is, "When you're young, everything feels like the end of the world, but it's not. It's just the beginning. You might have to meet a few more jerks, but one day you're gonna meet a boy who treats you the way you deserve to be treated, like the sun rises and sets with you." That quote has nothing to do with what this movie's about.
Bro, that's throwing me off.
Do you know what
I have no idea.
Here, 1 second. Okay, let's see. What else okay, I'm gonna give you the cast and director. You better get this. It's Burr Steers is the director. The movie cast is Zac Efron, Matthew Perry, and Leslie Mann.
No,
this is a good movie.
Not doing it for me.
You haven't seen 17 again?
No, I haven't seen 17 again.
It's a good movie, man. It actually really is a good movie. Hit me with a hard one.
What do you?
And you have to give me the settings and characters.
Settings and character. Oh, I don't get it from this. Johnny Depp, that guy that we don't talk about, William Fletcher, and it's directed by Gore. Can't say his last name.
Gore Verbinski. Yeah. You said William Finkter.
Yeah.
They made Pirates 1, 2, and 3 together, but it's not a Pirates movie, is it? Rango.
No.
What other movie did they make together? You got me stumped on this one. It's not Pirates of the Caribbean 4, right? No, he didn't make Pirates of the Caribbean 4. Ooh, you got me legitimately stumped here. Okay, here, I'm gonna spin, because I'm not getting it right now. It's not clicking in my head. What's the plot for this movie?
I don't get it from the plot. A Native American warrior recounts the untold...
Oh, I forgot about that movie. I know the one you're talking about. Army Hammer's in the movie.
Yeah, that's why I didn't say his name.
Yeah. You should have just said his name so I would have gotten the movie. I still don't remember the movie. I know Johnny Depp's character's name is Tonto. Lone Ranger, right? There you go. That's the name of the movie. Okay. Totally forgot about that movie. As you should forget about that movie. Okay. I'm gonna hit you with one more, and then I guess I'm gonna hit and then you hit me with one more. We'll call it a night, right? Okay. So, this is a good movie. I have to give you the settings and characters. You better get this. It's 1890s in India. The characters' names are Mowgli, Baloo, Bagheera, Shere Khan, and Kaa.
Is that the Riz Ahmed movie?
No, it's a classic animated movie that they've adapted. Mowgli.
The Riz Ahmed.
Let me spin it. Let me give you one more little snippet of a clue. Cast and director. The cast is Neil Sethi, Bill Murray, Ben Kingsley, and is directed by Jon Favreau.
Bilal, the hero.
The plot of this movie is after a threat from a tiger forces him to flee, a man cub embarks on a journey of self-discovery with the help of a panther and a free-spirited bear.
I'm not getting.
You haven't seen Jungle Book, bro?
No, I have not seen Jungle Book.
Okay, the guy who wrote Jungle Book, like the OG guys, like, you know, a racist, whatever. Like, he did not. I don't think he liked our people, but like, Jungle Book is good. Okay, last one for the pod this episode. Hit me with it.
I made a fool of myself in the pod, by the way, it's true.
Hit me with whatever. Hit me with one.
Alright, let's go with. Where you want to know?
Any of them. Just hit me with one that you think I might not get.
What you might not get? Oh, man.
Just hit me with the cast. Make it easy on me.
Sure.
Cast and director.
Sure, bro. You don't get this, though. Leonardo DiCaprio and Ridley Scott. That's all I'm going to say.
Ridley Scott and Leo made a movie together?
Russell Crowe is also in it, but Mark Strong.
You said Leonardo DiCaprio and Russell Crowe were in a movie? Wait, is it a Body of Lies?
There we go. Yep.
Okay. I totally forgot about that movie for a minute. I was like, wait, Russell Crowe and Leonardo DiCaprio were in a movie together? Okay, well, let's wrap it up there. Well, everybody, I hope you enjoyed me and Bilal sitting here playing little games. We're having a little game night in our game night episode. I think we had a great time doing it. It's been a long day, but we had a fantastic time talking about this movie, this little gem of a comedy that we both love. Bilal, it's been great having you here today. No problem,
man. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, hope to have you back on soon. We got some stuff to cook on, don't we? Whether it's like The Raid or like Edge of 17 or whatever it is. We'll have you back on for sure.
Sounds good. Let me know.
Alrighty, everybody. I hope everybody's having a good day. Peace and love as always. See you next time.
That's a heart, but
that's a heart for everybody who can't see the hearts. Bye, y'all.
Thank you for listening to this episode of Cinema Pursuit. Cinema Pursuit is produced by Katie Nadell, Zach Nadell, and Vikash Patel. Special thanks to Cole Cooper for the intro and outro music. You can listen to Cinema Pursuit on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and wherever else you may listen to podcasts. Follow us on TikTok, YouTube, and Instagram at Cinema Pursuit Podcast, Twitter or X at Cin Pursuit Pod, and check out our subreddit, r/Cinema Pursuit.